going to be teaching our kids in school?
Okay, right. This September, parents will no longer have the right to remove their children from any of these lessons. And the lessons we're talking about are for primary school children. And just as Ali said, doesn't matter if they're Christian, Muslim, atheist, anything, a child is innocent. And this is why Satan wants them so badly. Because when they grow up, having had their childhood taken away, they will never know they're lost. And he'll have them for good. So anyway, come September, I'll show you, I don't know if the camera can go in there, but look.
The camera, can you see it yet?
Okay. I mean, I'll take my glasses off. Okay.
Is the focal point on point? Is it in there?
Okay.
Yeah. Is the focus on point?
Okay, right. On this first page, say kids 7 to chat about anal and oral sex. Now, parents, these curriculums are used by, this is accurate, authentic data. Sheffield County Council, Worcestershire County Council, East Sussex County Council, they are actually being used now. Okay, now, as you can see, kids 7 talk about anal and oral sex. Now, it's difficult for me because I want to read some of this as well. What it's actually doing, it's I'll just show you some of that stuff that 7-year-olds are going to see. They're going to see all of this. So when your children come home after a day's school and put their heads on their pillows, they're not going to be thinking about the Three Bears and Little Red Riding Hood or any fairy tales. This is what's going to be implanted in their head. And from my own experience, when concepts and images are put in children's heads, they will have them until their grave.
Yes.
Now, this is why it's so important.
That's why a lot of people talk about childhood traumas,
Yeah,
and this is where it happens, brothers and sisters, in different ways. You see a lot of people who have, God knows, all kinds of tendencies or whatever it may be. You talk to them, there's a deep underlying issue of trauma as a child, yeah, and because once it's embedded in you, it's hard to get rid of, and that's what you said. They are going for the jugular vein.
Yeah, 100%. So if I move on to the next page here, look, this is showing some of the things that they're going to talk about: erection, homosexual, homophobia, incest, lesbian, masturbation, oral sex, orgasm, and a prostitute. Now, parents, if you're happy for your children to come home with those definitions in their heads, send them out to school. If you realize that God will not be happy with you if you do this, and on Judgment Day, he will say, did you not know this? So every parent who can see this, and please God, this is going to outrage you. But the first thing you do is you take emergency action and do not send them back to school. That's number one. Then we need to talk about systems we need to bring into play.
Self-schooling.
Exactly. But okay, so you've seen these things and these things. Now, here are some nursery books that children are gonna be. Can everyone see this? If I can just show that.
Wow.
Look at that. That's the kind of books. This is the kind of imagery that the education system will be showing.
That is disturbing. That is characters in sexual positions, yeah, and they're holding balloons, yeah.
And it's fun. This is the thing. They're very clever. They've used very kind of child-friendly imagery here. They've made everything look like it's really fun. Basically, this isn't even animals. Even animals just don't do it for fun. There's, animals. This is perversion like you wouldn't believe. So again, everything that you see here, please God, it will outrage you, and you won't send your lambs into those factories that are there increasingly to rob them of their innocence, to rob them of their child, and to turn them against their parents. The whole machine now is working against all people of faith, all people who have an ethical and a moral system. Now, an ethical and a moral system under God is the worst thing in the world compared for the elites and the people that are governing us at the moment.
Exactly. You know, that's the reason why the Sharia, the Islamic Sharia, the law came down. You know why? Because Islam came to protect the community as a whole. So Islam says no to an individual to come and say, I want the right. I have pedophilic tendencies. Give me the right as an individual to practice them. Or I want to drink alcohol. Or I want to gamble.
Ali, this is it. Ali's just said this. Now, this is from the BBC, just to see how they're softening people up. Paedophiles need help, not condemnation. I should know. This is BBC. So you can see the whole system now is grinding. But in this country, out of all the countries in Europe, it is still legal for you to send a letter Here's a website to go on. Home Education Otherwise. Education Otherwise. You will see a template of a standard letter. All you need to do is put it in the post, and immediately you can withdraw your child from school. You're legally entitled to do that.
Oh, we have that, yeah?
Yeah, you can do that.
Alhamdulillah.
You can do it. In the other countries in Europe, you can't do it. I've had a German family with 10 children on the run from Germany because their parents are put in prison for not sending their children to school.
Wow.
But in Birmingham, as Ali knows, there was a huge pushback that seems to have fizzled out because I think it's been crushed. But from what I understand is 2 Muslim children came back and they said to their mum, one of them said to their mum, could I be born in the wrong body? And the other one said, I like my best friend, am I gay? And the parents said, who told you this? And they said, the teacher. Now, if there was someone in the park now telling children things like that, we would run over and rescue those children. It is exactly the same thing that we're dealing with here.
Exactly. And it goes back to the point that I mentioned. You know, as society, we have no breaks. There's no breaks left, yeah? My man wants to be a piano, I'm a piano, yeah, be a piano. He wants to be a gearbox, you're a gearbox. You want to be an engine, you can identify yourself with whatever you like. I feel like being a camera today. Yeah, brother, stand there and record. Yeah, this is what's happening. People are given rights, and this is what happens, brothers and sisters. Allah says in the Quran, have you seen the one who takes his desires as his God, as his ilah? When we talk about idol worship, we think someone's bowing down to a statue. What's happening with the LGBTQ? Any more letters you want to add? Yeah, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Yeah, the paedophile movement. They want to add themselves on there as well. But the LGBT, they're rejecting it, and it's quite funny because it's like the LGBTQ say no. You know, you're a disease. Or you're not thinking right. But what they're saying, well, I was born like this. Now the paedophile movement is saying we're born like this. You know, just as the way you're saying you was born homosexual. So guys, it's very important for us to understand that when you don't have any breaks on your moral view, or on your moral view in society, you will go anywhere. That's the reason why when Netflix released that movie called The Cuties, I thought, do we really blame Netflix? Because as a society, we say yes to everything. Netflix is confused. They have to change the banner. They're thinking, rah, we thought you guys would be okay with it. It looks like we made a mistake. Everyone is confused. Where do we stop? Where's the line? Nobody has a line. Be whatever you want. And this is what's happening. We are going down a path, a very, very dark path, and our kids are at risk. So that's why, Colin, I appreciate and value you. Please carry on.
Ali, yeah. The latest thing to have come from the sewer as far as young children are concerned is the whole transgender indoctrination. And if you look at this, my question here at the park was, can you be born in the wrong body? And that was based on this as one of many books. Be who you are. As you can see from this picture, there's a young boy looking at a mirror, and what he's seeing is the real him. This is what they would say. And the person who wrote this book was someone who groomed their own child to believe in those things. So when a child has the concept, I could be born in the wrong body, what it does to their critical thinking capabilities that aren't even mature, they will always be questioning every single thing about reality. And then we have also these characters who are increasingly coming into children's into preschool. They're the drag queens.
What the hell is that?
The drag queens. They're men. They're men who basically come in and read transgender books to preschool children. These are actually, for me, these are the stormtroopers. These are the ones who are so user friendly as far as children. They love them. Panto, all the rest. They get the children's confidence, and they read them things like this. Tilly the transgender Teddy comes out. So this is what we're dealing with, and if we could just move on from this is where it's going. It doesn't end with transgender, transager. Then you've got transracial, and then you've got you've got even trans species, which is a recognised trans thing. This person used to be a man, then he was a.
Looks like a fish. He looks like a fish now.
Now he's a cat.
He's a cat.
He's a cat. So what we're saying, you're laughing. I mean, it's so insane. We should be crying as we're laughing, because the thing is, there are young children, this is very, very big, who believe they're wolves. And these are normally autistic girls at school who are full for anything. And they run around with little wolf ears and tails at school. You know, this is so terrifying. And again, the problem that we have with the transgender movement is, me and Ali and most of the men here, we realise that women should have safe spaces from predatory men. Yeah. We know that, in the toilet, the changing rooms, the swimming pools, etc., etc. Here was an incident where this rapist was serving time in prison, he put a wig on and he was transferred into a woman's prison where he sexually assaulted 2 more women. Imagine this, the prison governor, Ali's the prison governor, this person is brought to Ali, let's just say, he's brought to Ali. Ali looks at his file and says, yes, he's a rapist. They say, actually, he's a woman now, he's got to come, and you go, that'll do right. He knows they have this information, but because of political correctness and insane satanic ideologies, he bypassed that and on purpose put that person
Legally. He's legally raping.
Yeah, exactly. I know. These are just some more of the people who are at the top edge.
He should have stayed. He should have stayed a man. He looks. It doesn't look good as a woman.
But you know, rather than go on and laugh about these things, I want to just bring the parents, because primarily this video.